While everyone else is out here grinding their cultivation, you actually thought they were just pulling up holograms, staring up at a 100,000-foot divine manifestation in the sky, completely clueless. You grabbed a beat-up, rusty wood chopper, closed your eyes, and just wildly swung a full combo. And somehow that one slash actually cut straight through an immortal's divine manifestation, split it clean in half, and somehow the slash kept going and sliced a true immortal who was literally taking a bath in the upper realm, in half. That's weird. Why did this guy go down like a wet paper bag? 10 years, and nobody has any idea how you survived all that. That abyss had no water, no food. You couldn't even tell which direction was which. Every single day was spent in sheer terror, to keep your head straight in the dark, to scare off whatever beasts might be lurking. You had exactly one thing you did every day: swing the blade, draw slash. Draw slash, like a man possessed. You swung tens of thousands of times a day, hundreds of thousands. My body feels weaker and weaker. You could feel it, like you were carrying a mountain range on your back. You shook your head bitter. What you didn't know was that that wasn't weakness at all. In this place where even the laws of heaven get ground down under extreme pressure, you, a totally rootless mortal, just to survive, had your body unknowingly forged into the rarest physique in all of history, the primordial chaos body. Guan Dao against chaos body. The reason you feel so heavy is because your physical density has already surpassed that of stars. The very laws of this world are beyond you, are being crushed under you without you even realizing it. Right at the moment you stepped out of the forbidden zone, somewhere in the distant void, a massive surge of spiritual energy suddenly erupted. Boom, boom! A luxury spirit vessel, hundreds of feet long, came tearing through the sky and hovered right above the abyss. Standing on the deck was a robed elder dressed in deep purple, the picture of an immortal sage. Terrifying laws swirled around him, marking him unmistakably as a high and mighty primordial spirit cultivator. And of all people to show up, it was the very man who had personally kicked you in all those years ago, the Gu clan's grand elder, Gu Chongqing. The abyss's energy seems to have stabilized. Should we send people in? To search for that 100,000-year divine herb, a disciple standing nearby reported respectfully. Gu Chongqing was just about to nod when his gaze casually swept downward. The next second, the arrogance on his face froze solid. His pupils shrank to the size of a pinpoint. Guan Wang? Gu Chongqing screamed in disbelief like he'd just seen a ghost, pointing at the ragged, beggar-looking young man below. You worthless, rootless trash, how are you still alive? Hearing that all-too-familiar voice, you froze up and snapped your head upward. The moment you saw who it was, your heart dropped straight into ice. I'm done. It was the same guy from back then, high and mighty, who could crush you with one hand. Why is fate blocking me now of all times? I barely crawled out of there, haven't even eaten a single real meal yet. You gripped tight that beat-up, notched, rusty wood chopper in your hand, palms soaked in cold sweat. You were just a mortal, up against someone who could literally fly through the sky. You didn't even have the option to run. Up in the air, the shock in Gu Chongqing's eyes had already flipped into pure, burning greed. Impossible. A completely rootless mortal? How could he survive 10 full years in the absolute abyss? Gu Chongqing's breathing quickened. His mind was racing. A treasure, it has to be. This kid must be carrying some supreme artifact from deep within the abyss, maybe even an immortal relic. The moment that thought hit him, a killing intent flashed cold through Gu Chongqing's eyes. Kid, hand over whatever you brought out of there, and I'll leave your body in one piece. Gu Chongqing wasn't even going to give you a chance to respond. He went straight for it, unleashing his life's greatest technique, the 9-rock soul-suppressing cauldron. In an instant, heaven and earth trembled. A bronze cauldron as massive as a mountain materialized in the void. 9 roaring fire dragons coiled around its body, carrying a primordial spirit pressure that could erase all existence, and came crashing down toward you like a falling meteor. The space along its path was twisting and warping from the sheer heat. When the Grand Elder strikes, it's always a one-hit finish. This nobody's done for. The disciples on the spirit vessel all sneered. But down on the ground, watching that sky-blotting, apocalyptic fire dragon cauldron coming straight at you, you completely broke down inside. This is terrifying. So this is what cultivators can do. With this kind of force and scale, a mortal like me is going to get flattened to nothing. Well, either way, I'm dead. Might as well go down swinging. The extreme terror transformed in that instant into a cornered man's last burst of rage. Your eyes went bloodshot, the corners cracking from the sheer desperation. No technique in your head, just 10 years in the abyss. That one move swung hundreds of millions of times, pure muscle memory. Both hands locked on the rusty blade, eyes shut, facing the sky. You poured every last bit of strength into one single slash. The moment you swung that blade with your eyes closed, the world went completely silent. No earth-shattering explosion, no flashy clash of laws, just one impossibly pure, yet impossibly thin, yet refined to absolute perfection of physical vacuum. Because the force behind that slash was so overwhelming, the speed so insane, the Chaos Body's raw physical power had literally, mid-air, sliced open an unhealable absolute vacuum in space. Falling from the heavens, that massive 9-rock soul-suppressing cauldron, the moment it hit that vacuum blade energy, not even a second of resistance, like a block of tofu slamming into the sharpest divine weapon in existence. Ka-ching! That enormous bronze cauldron, along with all 9 of those untouchable fire dragons, got split cleanly in 2. Then, under the corrosion of the chaos force, instantly disintegrated into particles invisible to the naked eye. But that slash, it didn't stop there. What is that? Upon the spirit vessel, the smug look on Gu Chongqing's face completely locked up.